Salutations and welcome back to Two Dummies That Just Watch, a sports podcast between friends. This is episode number 62, the MLB trade deadline special. We told you we were going to do one, and here we are. I am one of your hosts, as always, Will Hernandez, and joining me on this special edition episode is Mr. Erik Pimentel, as we're going to discuss what happened today with the Mets and the Yankees and the rest of MLB. The rest of MLB. I want to say MLB baseball, but that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this episode's going to be a little bit different than usual. We're probably going to go like an hour or so. I haven't seen anything like crazy come across. Just checked MLB trade deadlines, and we'll talk about the Mets, we'll talk about the Yankees, and then we'll talk about what we thought about the rest of the trading deadline. But obviously, us being big Mets fans, we're going to start with the Mets first. And we've obviously, over the past few weeks, have discussed what kind of moves that the Mets can make, whether they were going to be big, not big spenders, but big acquirers, for lack of a better term, at the trading deadline. So obviously, we know by now that they started revamping the bullpen last weekend when they traded for Gregory Soto from the Orioles. And then yesterday, they trade for the St. Louis Cardinals closer in Ryan Helsley. And they also grab the submarine thrower Tyler Rogers from the Giants. And Rogers will be facing his whole team this weekend at Citi Field. But Stearns was not done, as he traded for center fielder Cedric Mullins from the Baltimore Orioles. And just judging what Stearns said today during the press conference that was about half an hour ago, Mullins is going to get the majority of run in center field, and is actually, I haven't checked the stats yet, but has actually been hitting better against lefties this year. So, sir, we're here. My first question to you as we get this going here is, do you think right now, as we stand on July 31st, that the Mets are in a better position for a serious World Series run versus what the team looked like a couple of days ago?
Yes, definitely, because they, by acquiring those three arms, which you count Soto, happened a couple days ago. I think you got rid of the guys that you couldn't rely on, which Brazabom started off great this year, but we all see what happened. I think that drops down like Stanek, those guys that were, iffy.
Yeah.
Helsley, Helsley, I mean, being a closer, led the league in saves last year. They are saying that his fastball isn't the best this year compared to last year, but still,
I did see that.
yeah, I look at it as an upgrade to what we already had. So I definitely am pumped for the bullpen. Obviously, I wanted to see another starting pitcher. That didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was banking on Alcantara. No, he didn't get traded at all. The Marlins were probably asking for a lot
Yeah.
for him.
Him and the other guy, Cabrera, right? Is that
Yeah,
his name?
yeah,
Cabrera?
Cabrera.
Yeah.
And the fact that they got Cedric Mullins, which is a guy that I talked about a couple months ago that I wanted. So I'm happy with that, because that now, I mean, he's not like the type of player that you're going to platoon. He's going to play because he bats against lefties. He's good defensively. So that means that Tyrone Taylor can now sub in for maybe Brandon Nimmo in late innings.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's definitely going to help. Overall, I'm happy with what they did. Would I want another starting pitcher? Yes, but I'm pretty much happy with what they did.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to keep in mind, and I have the list in front of me, because they end up trading away. Let me tell you right now: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. Okay, and only one of those guys was on the major league roster, and Buteau. Now, here are the guys as far as where they were ranked. You're only giving away two top 10 ranked prospects, and that was Jesus Baez, who was playing in Brooklyn, which, guys, that's high single A, very far away. He was ranked 6, but again, what do we say? Another infielder. Where the fuck is he going to play? You
Yeah.
know? And then Gilbert was number 10. And I will say that one was like, oh man, there goes your long term possible solution in center field with Gilbert. But sometimes you got to do these things. But like the other guys that got traded, this guy Nate Dom was the right-handed pitcher, ranked number 20. This guy Raymond Gomez, ranked number 28, and Blade Tidwell. And we saw what Blade did already. And you know what? I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, not at all.
And then you look at the other guys, they weren't even ranked.
Mhm.
These other guys weren't even ranked. So I saw fans always kind of get, oh, but Buto. Guys, Buto's not it. He's not. That guy's not it. And he's had issues. He's had issues this year already. So this is what we wanted. We wanted them to take the prospects that they have. They might not be, ranked guys, but obviously the other team saw potential there from these guys, or they would have not traded them. So, what do you think about the fact that the Mets didn't give up Tong, McLean, or who was the other guy that they talked about that's in AAA right now, the pitcher?
Oh,
His name is escaping me right
yeah,
now.
me too.
Yeah,
we know what
but
you're talking about.
yeah, but they didn't give up like those major prospects that everybody wanted them to keep. So, which is good. And Stern said during the press conference that you can still build now long term with those guys because the Mets didn't give them up. So, what's your take on the prospect aspect of this whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, good job by Stearns not giving those guys up. I hope that this means next year one or both of those guys are in the rotation.
Right.
Because next year you got some pending free agents. So yeah, I mean the fact that you didn't give up the top prospects that we were always talking about is a good thing. The only bad thing, if there is a bad thing that I can say about these trade, is all of these guys are free agents next year. So
That's the issue.
that's
Yeah.
the issue. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I thought
That's
about it,
definitely
and
an
then
issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought about it, and if you think about the trades they made last year, when they brought in Stanek, he was a free agent. They brought in Winker, he was a free agent, and they liked it so much here in New York that they re-signed. So
Hmm.
maybe this happens with these guys too. I doubt Helsley because he's a closer. He'll probably want to close.
Yeah. Hmm.
But those other
Yeah.
guys, Rogers, Soto, maybe Mullins, maybe they'll stick around. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And again, Stearns brought that up during somebody. I don't know if you saw that question, but somebody asked him, how do you balance between bringing in a guy that you still have control over for 2 or 3 years versus a guy that's a rental? And I mean, it's a business, man.
Yeah.
That's what kind of like the market is. You kind of have to do what you have to do. So, I mean, at the end of the day, just going back to what you said before, yeah, I'm disappointed that, and I'm not saying that Mullins is not a big bat, right? That's not what I'm saying. But with the middle of this lineup struggling,
Mhm.
you wonder who's going to step up. And at least now the lineup is longer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where you bat Mullins. I don't know where he bat. Do you know where he batted when he was with Baltimore? Was he a leadoff guy or no?
I think occasionally he was a leadoff guy. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean that'll be perfect for us. The leadoff spot, put him first, and then get Lindor, Soto, Pete, and go from there. Nimmo, that lengthens the lineup.
Let me look at a box score from a couple of days ago and see where uh, Mullins was batting. So, oh, he was actually batting lower in the lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had him batting sixth. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So I got to imagine what's going to happen here is Nimmo. The top four is probably going to be the same,
Yeah.
and maybe you slide in Mullins fifth or sixth, and then depending on the matchup of the pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
switch between him and McNeil.
He'll probably be batting behind. I mean, depending on how if Viento stays hot, He'll probably be batting behind Pete, batting fifth.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe you could do. Let's think about this right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to a box score from the other day for the Mets. So I just want to make sure that we got the right lineup here. Let's go to Monday and see. So Monday, when they lost 7-6, it was Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, McNeil, Vientos, Beatty, Alvarez, and Mauricio. So basically, what's going to happen is, yeah, I think you're right. Mullins after Alonso, and then maybe Vientos, and then McNeil.
Maybe. Yeah, depending on lefty
Yeah,
righty.
yeah. So what do you another aspect of this, and I say I was wrong about this. Guess who didn't leave? Vientos, Beatty, Mauricio, or Acuna. Dude, I'm shocked, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I'm shocked too. I thought at least one of those guys would go. But it just goes to show you, I mean, at least, and then another, just going back real quick, another rumor that I heard was Brandon Lau. I don't know if you heard that rumor. He was
No, I didn't.
so the second baseman from the Rays, the Mets were connected to them. So I was like, all right, if you're gonna trade, he's a good bat, but you put him at second base, you're gonna trade. You're gonna give up some guys.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the Mets at the end of the day, they were like, you know what, it's gonna cost us too much to get Lau. But that would have been a good bat too. But yeah, I think definitely Mullins batting fifth is the way to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow's gonna be interesting for sure. Just to kind of see what they do, and again, what do you do with everybody else now? Because not everybody can play. McNeil's going to go to second base, probably. He's going to have the majority of time at second base because his hitting well. I would imagine Vientos will be the DH. The question's going to be whether it's going to be who's going to play third base.
Yeah.
Right? Is it going to be Beatty or is it going to be Mauricio? What do you think? What does your gut tell you?
You know me, I'm a Mauricio guy. I've been saying this for
I know
for a while. I mean, the guy has potential, and he has his moments where he does some stupid stuff, but
yeah, he does. Yeah,
I think his potential honestly is limitless because the guy his bat, especially from the left side, his right side needs to improve. But his left side, man, the guy could swing. Definitely could swing. That's my pick for third base.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think right now Beatty and Acuna are going to be the odd men out. But you know what? Like Stern said, those are not going to be bad options off the bench. The question is going to be, can they adjust and be key contributors off the bench? Because I feel as though the Mets haven't really had a guy, a pinch hitting, savant in a while. We haven't had a Lenny Harris or a Matt Franco in a very long time, it feels.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those guys can fill that role. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens. I will say one thing going back to the beginning because I didn't really my take on the Mets going forward. That bullpen looks like on paper it's going to be lights out at the end of games, right?
You'd hope so.
Yeah, especially the whole closer. You basically now you got to face two closers in the 8th and the 9th inning. That's what it's going to come down to right now. And if you look at the numbers, I think I sent it to you yesterday, and I sent to the other with my brother and Lee J as well. The Phillies righties, their main righties are 3 for 25 against Helsley and Rogers. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And the fact that, Rogers and Helsley can get guys out from both sides of the plate, doesn't matter, righty or lefty. So when you're looking at Dodgers, with Otani, and you're looking at Schwarber with the Phillies and Tatis and Machado for the Padres. They're gonna have better options going forward. So I I, I just don't know if they have enough offense. Honestly,
Well,
that's my biggest concern.
yeah, and the thing is that they need to improve the runners in scoring position, and they have the all stars to do it. I mean, you got the guys
Right,
there.
they do.
It's not like where we have a lineup that's bunch of punch and Judy hitters. We got guys that have the track record to do it. They just need to do it. And
Yeah.
that's where I think Stearns is kind of banking on. He's like, let's improve the bullpen, which was a major, the negative on this team, and let's hope that these guys, these players' track records, come back to where they're used to playing, to improve on that runners in scoring position, because it's like it's brutal sometimes to watch some of these Met games where you're like
Awful.
1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and they're leaving constantly like a small village on base. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to hope that Vientos. I mean, he obviously he almost had 2 home runs in that game. The game that they lost, that they lost in the ninth inning there on Monday. Obviously, Tatis robbed him at the wall, and then he did hit the grand slam, and it's just like, man, you got to win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they made 2 mistakes in that game. Brazaban didn't cover first base, and then Soto had the error throwing to second base in that game. And I know that shit's gonna happen, but then when you turn around, you get swept by them, and then we'll get into it, and then you get into what they did at the trading deadline of the Padres. Bro, if the playoffs started today, guess who the Mets are playing in the first round? They're playing the Padres.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like 2 years. It's like 2-3 years all over again.
Yeah, the Padres are scary, man, and they made some good moves. And I think this series is kind of like a turning point for both teams, because the Padres saw is like, man, we could compete with the Mets. And I remember when you said, man, the Mets are about to get swept, and I said, blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure Stern saw how awesome San Diego's bullpen is.
right.
And said, you know what, we need to improve our bullpen. So who knows if, this sweep that was a blessing in disguise, and it woke up Stearns to, make some changes.
All right. Let's talk about the Yankees. Unless do you have anything else to say about the Mets?
No,
Should we
you're
move
good.
on? Okay, cool. So, man, the Yankees are busy today, man. They were fucking busy. I'm gonna record something with Larry on Monday. He couldn't join because he's actually still at Yankee Stadium, because they had a press conference at 6:30 and Cashman was speaking. So him and I will have a discussion on Monday before the regular podcast. But I don't even know where to start here. Okay, I think the big thing probably for them was trading for the Pirates closer and David Bednar. And that had been rumored for a few days. I know they were trying to go after their starter as well. And I forget what the starter's name was. But there were a few teams that were trying to get the starter. And there were a few teams trying to get Bednar as well. So I think it's funny because the Mets and the Yankees are in similar positions. They both needed pitching.
Yeah.
And that both happened because they acquired Jake Bird from the Rockies. They also acquired Camilo Doval from the Giants. So they basically went ahead and turned around their bullpen much in the same way as the Mets. Now, some of the other moves that they made, people kind of described them as like tinkering. And we'll see how it plays out. One of the ones that happened right before the deadline was Jose Caballero from the Rays.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony Volpe, your ass is on watch right now, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because he's a shortstop and Caballero can play infield. And here's the other thing, too, that I was looking at. Caballero still has options. So the Yankees can stash him in AAA. And if this shit continues with Volpe, bro, I feel like he made an error every game in this past series against the Rays. That's what it seemed like. And, bro, he was getting booed to shit in those games after every error he made. So you've got that. Obviously, before the deadline, they trade for Ryan McMahon. They get Ahmed Rosario, the former Met, and they get an outfielder in Austin Slater. Now, Spencer Jones's name kept coming up. He is the Yankees' top prospect. And John Heyman said today the only way that the Yankees would have traded Jones was if Paul Skeens from the Pirates was available. And Skeens wasn't on the market now. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But, sir, we were talking about winners and losers before we started recording, and you felt as though the Yankees were a winner today. So, your thoughts on what they did, but basically retuning a lot of their team, just like the Mets did today.
Yeah, I mean they retooled their bullpen. Getting Bednar is big because it also, I believe he's under team command for another year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's important. Mm-hmm.
Devin Williams is a free agent, so if they don't re-sign him, you got to close it right there in Bednar. So that helps them out too. And then the other moves that they did last minute, really improved their team. And McMahon, the Yankees' issues has been defense. So McMahon
Yes.
is going to help with that. He's not the bat in the lineup, but I don't think the Yankees needed that really. They just needed to improve that defense. So I think their Yankees are one of the winners in this year's trade deadline acquisitions.
I'm trying to see what I'm trying to see what his was Bednar's contract situation right now, and it's not coming up here. Hold on one second. Uh, he's almost making $6 million. Let's see here.
It's chump change.
Yeah. No, he will be a free agent next
Oh,
year.
he
Actually,
will?
no. He's arbitration eligible.
Okay, that's what it
He's
was.
arbitration eligible next year
Okay.
after yeah, and then he does become. It looks like he does become a free. So wow, he definitely got his start late then, in his career. So yeah, but you're right. He's under control for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that works out for the Yankees at the end of the day. I can't this whole Volpe situation. I can't ignore it. And I'm not trying to pick on the guy, right? I mean, that's not what I'm really trying to do here, but I just for his sake, when you see this happen, when you see the Yankees trade for an infielder that can play your position. Now, I know
And Rosario too. Remember that?
right, well yes,
Yeah.
that's right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I don't even think this is. I think you're right that this is a defensive thing because I think I was looking at Caballero's numbers and they're not great as far as like from an offensive perspective.
No,
This
he's
was
batting like
clearly
230 something.
yeah,
He's a guy that he's stolen 34 bases this year. So
that
that's
also
his game.
helps.
That's his game.
Yeah. By the way, he got traded right in the middle of the game.
I saw
Went
that.
down, which
Yeah.
is I didn't even realize that's a right now. Holy shit.
Well, that happened to Baez, the Mets. He was playing a
Right,
game in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they took him out like the
Took him
fourth
out.
inning.
Yeah, he's standing on second base, and they're like, "Oh, get out of here."
See ya. You can't get you got to get out of there so you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his numbers right now. Yeah, 226. His OPS is 640, but like you mentioned, he's got 34 stolen bases. He had 44 last year. So, he's only been in the league 3 years now with the Rays. Actually, no, he made his major league debut with the Mariners. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just hope that Volpe's like, hey, I got to start playing better. I don't know if that really helps at the end of the day, what these guys' mentality is at the end of the day for this stuff, but you got competition now, brother.
Expectations
Especially
for that kid was too much, though. I mean, he started off his career good, but
yeah,
you know how it is in New York, man. Everything gets overhyped. I'm sure the Derek Jeter talking about comparisons to Derek Jeter and things like that. So, I mean, the kid, I don't know if he's going through some mental stuff because he has the yips when it comes to
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
at shortstop. Man, I feel bad for the kid, but he if he wants to continue to play in New York, he needs to battle through those things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you can do to be quite honest. I don't know if he has options to be sent down, and do you pull like an Alvarez? Is it too late? He's batting 215
Mm.
with 16 homers and 58 RBIs, and he is 20. He's only 24,
Yeah, he's still young.
so maybe I don't know. They're probably not going to send him down at this point. But you think about he's been in the league now 2.5 seasons roughly. He is hitting 225
Mm.
over that span. His OPS is 671. And he's got pop, right? He's got some pop, obviously. 21 home runs his rookie year. Then he went down to 12, and then he's got 16 now. So from that perspective, he is on kind of the way back up. But I don't know, man. You got to wonder. I'm just looking at his fielding. He has made, Jesus Christ, he's made 49 errors in his career already.
In 3 years, right?
Wow. In 3 years.
Yeah, that's a lot for a
Holy
shortstop.
shit.
Yeah,
Damn. Awful.
yeah.
Wow, that's awful.
And
Okay,
and
that's
his
bad.
and his dad needs to stay at home too.
That whole thing was sorry, Yankees fans. We're not going to apologize for that one because you guys come into our stadium and start shit. So, all right, let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened. And man, whew, the Phillies made some moves, man. Because when you trade for Johan Duran, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do his same the entrance because he has the Undertaker.
Oh, really?
Gong till he comes in. Yeah, yeah. So Harrison Bader, he'll probably like kill the Mets now.
Jesus.
What do you let's start with the Phillies first because it was funny when we were talking about the Phillies yesterday. You thought that this trade made the the Rogers trade look bad, but then the Mets turned around and they basically got their second closer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it kind of somewhat balanced out. But what do you make about what the Phillies did today?
Again, another team that improved. Bader is Bader. He's a great outfielder as far as defensively. He'll offensively, he was with us last year. We saw what he is. He'll give you an occasional good game, but that's who he is. As far as the acquisition they made for the bullpen, that guy Duran is a stud. So that's what they needed was a closer because Alvarado was out for the season with that
Right with the
PED
suspension,
or whatever it was.
yeah, idiot.
So they needed, if anybody needed a closer, it was them. The Mets got Helsley, but they didn't really need a closer, but they're using him as a setup man. So Philly, they targeted Duran and they got him. So kudos to them.
And here's the thing too: Duran's only 27.
Yeah.
And right now he's got 16 saves on the year. Last year he had 23, and this year he had. I'm sorry, 2023 he had 27. Listen. I know he's like listen. The Mets have faced him, so we've seen him pitch against the Mets in person. But you know, Philadelphia is not Minnesota when it comes to the market. All eyes are going to be on him going forward. So I do wonder how he will handle that.
All
Because you're going
he
to.
needs to do is give up one of those cheapy home runs in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and the crowd will boo the shit out of him.
Yeah, because I mean, from what I remember, Target Field plays pretty fair.
Yeah.
And we all know Citizens Bank Ballpark does not
No.
at all.
Mm-mm.
That's a fucking Little League field.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be curious to see, how that stuff plays out. Because again, this is not, you're in a big market now. You're in a market with a team whose fans thought that they were out of it in May.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
They were panicking, and now look, they're in first place, I think, now by a half a game. So yeah, there's gonna be some interesting. Actually, no, the Mets are in first place by half a game. I got that wrong, despite losing 3 in a row. Other winners, the Padres, man.
Yeah.
Their bullpen gets much better. They get fucking Mason Miller. I think from everything that I saw about this particular trade, I think people were surprised about this one. And I don't know about you, and I wrote this down in my notes here. The Padres have a good team, I think. They have a lot of good hitters.
They do.
Yeah, we just saw what happened, right? In San Diego with the Mets. They already have, if not the best bullpen in the major leagues, one of the best bullpens in the major leagues. As far as I'm concerned, the Padres are now a big favorite to go all the way.
Yeah.
Because, bro, you add Mason Miller, this guy who throws 100-mile-per-hour splitters. Yes, I said that right. 100-mile-per-hour splitter. He is hittable. We've seen it happen, but man, you got that guy at the end of your bullpen. Holy shit, man! I don't know. I know you said before we started recording that the Padres are one of the winners here, and what's your take on what they're looking like now going forward?
Yeah, they got Mason Miller. They got JP Sears, who's a pretty good pitcher as well.
Yep.
They got the catcher, the backup catcher from the Royals, for me.
Right. Yes.
They got him. That dude, I mean, he's a backup catcher, but great defensively. So those are little things that you need. The only thing I would say is the Padres gave up a lot. I mean, they gave up their number one prospect and the number 3 overall MLB prospect, Leo DeVarius or something like that. His name is. So Mason Miller did cost them, but I mean, listen. You want to win it all. That's what you got to do. You got to give up sometimes you got to give up these prospects because prospects. I look at it this way. Prospects are like prospects get you fired if you're a general manager.
Yeah.
Because if you hold on to a prospect and he ends up being garbage, you look like a jackass. If you trade a prospect, he ends up turning into Mickey Mantle, you look like a jackass. So
right,
there's no winning and lose. There is no winning in it. But sometimes you don't want to be these people that hug on to prospects forever, and then they turn out to be nothing. So,
one other thing, they did acquire Ryan O'Hearn from Baltimore as well, and they also acquired Ramon Laureano from the Orioles as well. So. Listen again. We said that you said that they were a winner, and I do agree with that. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see this National League now is interesting because almost everybody improved that was contending. Even though I don't think the Brewers really made any deals, if I'm not mistaken. Well, actually, no, because they got Shelby Miller and Jordan Montgomery. Scratch that. They did improve. Those are 2 pitchers, so they did improve their pitching in some respects. So
here's a funny thing. It goes by everybody's perspective. So I just got a DM from a friend of mine that he said he replied because I posted that we were recording today. He replied with, "I think Stearns was asleep all day." It's like, how could that?
What?
Yeah, you can't.
Come on.
You can't satisfy everybody, man.
that's so weird. That's a good inclusion into this podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, I like listen. What are people expecting that the Mets are gonna fucking trade for let's take Steve Kwan for example, okay? from the Indians because the past couple of days, all I heard from people here in New York was that, oh, the Yankees and the Mets should go out of their way to trade for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. One, how do you know the Indians are going to trade him? That's number one. Number two, to me, I know we talk about Lee J thinks that nobody should be untradeable, like off limits. I have a different perspective on that, especially when it comes to pitching. I think you need as much pitching as you possibly can have now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a few years back you can get away with trading some pitching. I think now you have to keep these guys. Listen, Kwan didn't go anywhere. So are we gonna say now that Cashman and Stearns had their fingers up their asses, and couldn't get Kwan? It takes two, and there's a cost to doing business, and I think that Stearns did his job, right? He improved the bullpen, which was, I feel like, the number one thing. You want to say the starting pitching? Maybe. I put that up there too. But again, if the trading partners are not there, I don't know what you do to compensate for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to be so curious to get Lee J's take on this stuff on Monday.
And the only reason I wanted to get a starter is because injuries. I mean, Minaya is he's just coming back from an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And Senga, you don't know with Senga, man. Sometimes he looks like he's made out of paper mache. Right. So, that's why I wanted to get another pitcher, because that's what I was afraid of. But again, it's like the big super splash wasn't really out there, I don't think. I mean,
for anybody, really?
If you would have told me Jose Ramirez was available, guess what? Sprout, McLean, you may need to go.
Sprout, that's the other one. Yeah. Sprout's the other one, right?
Yeah. You may need to go because that guy's a superstar. But
right,
agreed. It wasn't out there.
Yeah, I wonder. Let me see where the I was about to call them the Indians. The Guardians are right now. They are at 500, at 54-54, and they're only 2.5 games out of a wild card. So you're not gonna trade. Now that brings me to my point that I want to bring up with you because we talked about this in text. I'm going to ask you the question. I know what the answer is, but I just want you to answer it because, just for podcast purposes. But does MLB need to push back the deadline a couple of weeks?
Yes, definitely. I think the adding of this third wild card has opened it up for teams like the Indians, like the Guardians, like all of these other teams that are like borderline contenders for a playoff spot. To think that, hey, we still have a chance. You push that back a couple of weeks, that could change the perspective on a lot of these teams. And I think, didn't the trade deadline used to be back when we were growing up? Wasn't it like around the All-Star break, or was it before that? I can't.
It was earlier. Yeah,
it was like in June, wasn't it? Like
it was a little earlier. It was a little earlier in July, I believe.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, you got this third wild card. Push it back to. I'm not saying push it back a month. Push it back a couple of weeks. Middle of August, just to see, and that'll give these teams that think they're in it, think they're not in, who knows, and then that opens up a lot more players to be available for these trades.
Let's just go through the standings quickly, because you get an idea of maybe, what's happening here and why. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think they need to push it back. Because the problem is like teams, let's just go through here. Cleveland, 2.5 games out. This is the American League. I'll go to the National League in a minute. There are more teams in it, quote unquote, in it in the American League versus the National League. Okay, Cleveland, 2.5 out. The Royals are 3, even though they did trade some, they did make some trades today. They're a game under 500. The Rays, who made some trades, they are 2 games under 500, but they're 3.5 games out of the last wild card spot, which is currently held. It's a tie between the Rangers and the Mariners. Angels are 4 out, and now you're getting into the Twins are 5.5, and they cleaned house today, right? So there you go. Now, National League. Cincinnati's 3 games out. St. Louis is 5.5, and then you start getting into you'll see in the trades. The Giants are 6, Marlins are 7, Arizona's 9. So, again, I think you're right. You're there's at least 5 to 7 teams that probably thought to themselves, we're gonna hold pat with some of our guys, key players, because we still think that we have a chance. And if you push that deadline out 2 weeks, then it just opens up more opportunities for trades to be made. So then you really got to wonder, okay, is a guy going to be worth the rental for 6 weeks
Exactly.
and the playoffs? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then that makes your job a lot fucking harder. Am I going to be giving up a top prospect for a 6-week rental? Hopefully it's more than that.
Yeah.
10 weeks, going into the World Series or whatever. So,
I mean, look at the Giants traded for Devers all those couple months or a month and a half, and now they're sellers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So much for that. One more. Okay, so go through the winners. What did you have for winners? You said Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Padres. Who else?
Seattle Mariners.
Since Seattle.
Yeah, they added Suarez. They added Josh Naylor. I think they added a couple other guys, but those are the 2 that stand out for me because Seattle's lineup was their weak spot. So
yes,
adding Suarez and Naylor, and then you got Big Dumper in between them.
We got to call him that, really.
Yeah. I only said that because I forgot his name.
It's funny. Kyle Raleigh.
Yeah, and then you got don't forget Julio Rodriguez. So
right,
that definitely those 2 trades right there definitely helped their lineup.
No, for sure. And going back, because I was just looking at the story about the going back to the starting pitching, because we talked about there were rumors out there about the Marlins with Sandy Alcantara and Edward Cabrera. Here's the thing. Apparently, from what I'm reading, is that the Marlins were asking for a very high price for both those guys, especially because Cabrera is making just $1.95 million this year, and he is controllable via arbitration for another 3 years. So you're going to be paying a lot for that guy. Absolutely going to be paying a lot. Alcantara, he's got the big contract, so that I can understand why maybe teams could have been scared away from him, especially because he's not really pitching well at all this year. And I know he's coming off Tommy John surgery. I get that. But I would not be surprised, though, if in the offseason, one of these guys or both of these guys get traded. And then, listen, again, guys, for whatever your friend's saying, oh, they were asleep and whatnot, whether it gets them to the World Series or win the World Series, I don't know. But I feel like I'm confident in the job that Stearns did for this deadline, and I'm confident going forward that he can make that splash. And I think he will do that. Is that me being overly optimistic? Yeah, this is why Lee J is the pessimist of the podcast. I think I feel like you're more of an optimist, right? I mean, am I?
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
Am I right about that?
It depends what day you catch me. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you got to think we're better now than we were 24 hours ago. That's how you got to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I truly do believe that. So look, I mean, I think we've said what we've had to say with this for this, and I knew this is going to be shorter. We just wanted to get our thoughts on the record. Listen, it starts tomorrow, right? This is it. This is the push now. Let's just look at the Mets schedule now for the next few series. Obviously, they're coming back. They've got to play the Giants, the Guardians, the Brewers, the Braves, and the Mariners over the next couple of weeks. Like there are wins to be had there. against the Braves and the Guardians and even the Giants, because the Giants are not the team that they used to be heading into this MLB the trading deadline. So
Mhm.
you got to start winning games, man. You got to start. I know they just won 7 in a row, but let's get off to a good start tomorrow and really dominate
Yeah,
August because
this
yeah,
this month, I mean, you just broke it down, but Seattle is a tough team. Philly,
mm-hmm,
they play Philly.
yep.
Um, Cleveland is not a pushover. So I mean, and then Atlanta, they always have problems with Atlanta. I don't care if they're 20 games under 500, they always have issues with Atlanta.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they're playing Atlanta 6 times next month.
Yes.
So gotta beat that team.
Yeah, and then I mean, if you want to go back, go up even further in September, you got Detroit to start to start September, Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
again, Texas, who's a good team, San Diego again. So and then the Cubs. So this record, this schedule is not getting easier.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the Mets have the toughest schedule for the rest of the
I
season.
can see that.
If I'm not, they play the most teams over 500 the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So listen, it's put up or shut up time right now, and you got to hope that the offense breaks out of it in a big way, and that these guys that they got for the bullpen can come in here and shut shit down as much as possible. So I'll be curious to see just maybe one last thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll be curious to see how Mendoza uses Helsley and Diaz, because it's going to be one of those things now where you can probably push Diaz a little bit more,
Mhm.
knowing that okay, if Diaz can't go for like a couple of days because he's tired, I got this guy Helsley,
Yeah.
and he can close for like a game or two. So I'd rather have Helsley than listen. I like Stanek, but that dude's not a closer.
No.
Not at all.
No.
So
Yeah, I mean, listen, Soto. I mean, he has the weapons now to mix and match in those later innings. So I mean, you want to put
yeah,
you want to put in maybe Helsley in the seventh because that's where their big beef of the lineup comes up.
right.
You could do that, or vice versa. Maybe like you
Yeah,
said, maybe one night if Diaz pitches an inning in the third and he's not available the next game, boom, you got Helsley. So let's see.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see starting this weekend. So, listen, guys, thanks for joining us for the extra episode. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said, Monday I will talk to Larry and I will get a sense of what he thinks about what the Yankees did this past today on this Thursday trading deadline day. And Lee J, get your shit ready, man, because I'm curious to know what you think about what happened today. So that's going to do it here. I am Will Hernandez here for Erik Pimentel, and we will see y'all next week. Peace out.
See ya.